Hi, my name is Mian Han. I interviewed Dana Kelthmere and talked about American election in 2008. At that time, she was 22. She voted for Obama in Indiana because she thought Obama's policies such as healthcare and jobs were important to her. In her point of view, American election in 2008 was very significant because there was a new president would be elected and it seems that a lot more changes would take place. After this election, although she thought there was less impacts on her and she saw less changes in her life, but she was also happy to participate in it. For me, I gained many information from the interview, especially the expansion of voting rights. I studied in the class that the expansion of voting rights did not happen overnight. It was a product of continued struggle by many people over many years. In the early years of the United States, voting rights were commonly extended to white males who owned property. Through constitutional amendments as well as changes in state and federal laws, the right to vote is now guaranteed to most United States citizens aged 18 and older, and it became one of the most important rights of American citizens. For Dana, she is a female, and she is happy to participate in every election. This is a good example of expansion of voting rights. How old are you during the election?
Let's see. No, that's the answer that I'm going to have to count. I think I was 22. I would have been 22 for that election.
Okay. So the election is which year?
It was in 2008.
2008?
Yeah, 2008.
Okay. Where did you live and how did the election play out in that state or region?
Well, I was technically living in the state of West Virginia at the time, but I voted in Indiana through an absentee ballot. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% for sure. I know that my region went for Obama in Indiana, but I think the whole state might have went for the Republican candidate, but I'm not 100% sure who won that state election.
Okay.
As far as how my state voted, I know that West Virginia went Republican.
Okay. What do you remember about issues confronting you and the country at the time?
Well, during this election, there was a lot of talk of, obviously the future of America, and Obama had the platform of change and how everything was going to be a lot better. There's going to be, health care, a whole bunch of domestic issues that were really important to me. And so that's what really stands out. As far as any other sort of drama or, bickering back and forth, I don't remember any of the major like name-calling or anything like that happened, but I do remember that there was a lot of talk of just the general direction of the way the country was going to be going, and then also, the wars and stuff, and Obama said that he was going to be ending a lot of that too, so.
Okay. How did you experience those issues in your own life?
Well, at the time, I was a graduate student, and so a lot of the stuff that was being talked about during this election had a lot to do with me. Things like health care, taxation issues, jobs. I was actually in the process of looking for a job at the time, and it was really tough to find work. So those are the things that were really playing on worrying me whenever I was trying to figure out who to vote for.
Okay. What was complaining about the candidates running and what large hopes and fears did the candidates inspire?
Well, trying to think. I don't remember being inspired much by the Republican Party at the time, but I know that Obama's big campaign was just hope for America and hope that, things were going to get better because things were not so great in 2008. And so his big thing was changing America for the better and really, that kind of idea of getting to a happier place than where we were in 2008.
Okay. Why does the particular election stand out in your memory?
That time, more than the last election that I voted in, seemed like there was going to be a lot more changes taking place, mainly because everybody said there was going to be a lot more changes taking place. So it seemed like that was going to be a really important moment, and I was really excited to get to vote in that election, participate in that.
Oh, cool. Okay, how did this election influence you in the future?
Well, I was already cynical whenever I didn't have, everybody said there was going to be a lot of changes, but I said, okay, we'll see what happens. And so I think after the election and the changes not all the changes took place right away, and everybody else grew a lot more frustrated, I was not that amused. And so I said, well, okay, I wasn't surprised. And so now I'm even less surprised, more disillusioned, less,
Okay. Have your views changed in any way since that election?
Not really.
Not really?
No, I'm still pretty cynical still, but I'm still voting in this election. I'm still happy to do that, and I'm glad to participate in that. And I think it matters in this election more than ever, to participate. So, still cynical, but still believe that my vote has a say.
Okay. How do you think the election has been remembered in American history?
Probably the time that really started to change a lot, because even though not all the changes that were promised took place, there were some major shifts, like the healthcare, a lot of the wars changed focus, things like that. So, and there's a lot more people that are starting to be a lot more vocal, and, I'm sure you've talked about in class how the political sentiment has changed a lot in the United States. There's really not a whole lot of people in the middle ground anymore. They're either really, really conservative or really, really liberal. So, I think the last election kind of did that.
Okay.